In this week's episode of
Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel to a brand new video on the goddamn internet. And yeah, today we got a special one. We're talking about a lot of interesting shit. So make sure you stay till the end to get there, right? It's all about them good watch time, boost me in the algorithm, all the likes, all the comments, subscribe notifications on, it all counts, and I appreciate every single fucking one of you, okay? So yeah, let's watch this video, yeah?
Look, I was told recently by somebody who would know that we're up against a legacy idea. We are up against the most close hold secret of all time within our government.
featuring journalist Christopher Sharp and Congressional report.
Let's quickly speak on that. I know it's fast, but it's a really big thing, and it's like fundamentally important, right? So everyone dismisses this, that ever you bring it up to your family or whatever, friends, right? You probably know what I mean. It's dismissed really easily and quickly because that's not a possibility to most people that are in the quote-unquote normal world, right? Where normal shit happens, even though normal shit never happens, right? It's chaotic, but so if you get past the biases, the stigmas, all this different stuff, then you realize that evidence leading to this being true is significant, too significant, I think, to just throw away in the way a lot of people do. They don't want to be freaked out. I mean, I get that, but it's the biggest story that ever was. We are not alone. So let me know in the comments if you guys are looking forward to Told You So's, right?
Reporter and Professor Matt Laszlo.
So I've been sitting on information for some months now about an alleged undersea retrieval.
The United States government has gathered a great deal of information about UAPs over many decades, but has refused to share it with the American people. That is wrong, and additionally, it breeds mistrust.
Who gutted the Senate Majority Leader's bill?
And right now, all these shady people and companies are at war with the media. You'll see, I remember a classic case of this was, they're probably going to be talking about this weird shit we were like struggling with way into the future, just weird random thought. But what was I saying even? What the fuck? So I remembered, okay? So what I was going to talk about is, there was this case, right, where all the media was invited besides News Nation, because they are the ones independently pushing for UFOs, and they don't follow the recommendations, quote unquote, etc., from these governmental bodies, three-letter agencies, all that, etc. They control the media, CIA especially, intel, right? Spread intel, gain intel, you know. So yeah, then they invited everyone besides them. So you can be singled out in this way, and that should definitely be illegal, I think.
You know, it's the Senate Majority Leader who usually guts other people's bills.
Secrets, cover-ups, and strange phenomena.
UFOs and ideas that challenge reality itself. All these mysteries, all this time. Are we ever going to get to the bottom of these?
My name is George Knapp. I dig into...
Love George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell. Great guys. Would love to meet them one day. I'm afraid I might be too late for the G-Man. But hopefully Jeremy, right? Big fans of these guys. G-Man has been living and working out of Nevada, Las Vegas for so long. I'm a big fan of Las Vegas, Nevada. Never been there, but love gambling, love casinos, love UFOs, etc., as you can guess, right?
news stories that others can't or won't.
I'm Jeremy Corbell, and for some reason, people tell me things they probably shouldn't. And this is Weaponized. People should be optimistic.
Yeah, we saw a Representative Analuna gave a statement to the UFO world saying, you're going to be happy with the witnesses. Members want the same kind of information that we want. They want to hear from whistleblowers who have direct knowledge, hands-on experience with these secret programs, crash retrieval, reverse engineering. That's the hot button issue, right?
So supposedly this is happening really soon. So mark your calendars, guys. This is crazy. Okay. Hands-on, first-hand experience. That's what everybody's been asking for. Guess what? Shit's not fake.
Yes, so it was actually the lead of the story was about the UAP Disclosure Act seeming to have failed again because it didn't make it into the Senate's Managers Pack, which would be negotiated for the National Defense Authorization Act when they start talking to the House. Although, as Matt Laszlo reported, there's still the opportunity to drop that within the negotiations themselves. So we still have a glimmer of hope. But I think at the time I was feeling quite emotional. And I decided to actually, because I've been sitting on information for some months now about an alleged undersea retrieval program. And I just felt it was the right time just to put that into there, put it into the mix, saying, look, we can only be thwarted so many times. There is information out there. And I think it's time for some transparency about what is going on in terms of these seemingly illegal retrieval programs that have not been disclosed to Congress. So I put some details and some breadcrumbs in the article about that program. And then I got nervous. I was always warned that this program, the Underseas Retrieval Program, is the most sensitive of them all, perhaps. Although there may be another one involving space, which you've alluded to as well, Jeremy. But yeah, I mean, this is something they can get really, really nasty about, the gatekeepers to this program. And I've been warned about that for months.
Well, guys, what the actual fuck, right? Underwater retrieval team, what? Like, that's pretty interesting. Maybe these gift sites Diana Poselka has described in her book and mentioned on the JRE podcast, that these gift slash retrieval sites, whatever, so they're underwater, some of them, or all of them. I'm not too sure if anyone knows more on that, but this is really interesting. Let me know what you guys think down below, but it gets better.
That I should be careful. So I decided, I thought I can't put myself through this. So I decided just to delete that section referencing that, referencing that program. And then what happened is a few days later, someone was looking on Wayback Machine, and they found the original story and they posted it up on X. And it was a way to try to embarrass me or something like that, I think they were trying to get at. But for me, it was just like, oh my gosh, I don't want this to be magnified. I don't, obviously some people may have seen it, but I don't want people to draw attention to it, to put me at potential risk, because if it's a bigger story, then it could perhaps put me at risk, and also this person was using it as an opportunity to try to embarrass me, to say that I made a mistake and stuff like that. But I hadn't. I had taken it down just because I didn't want to run the risk. So what happened when that came out, in terms of that person put it up, I decided to put it back up, put the story back up, and I decided to add some more details as well, so that, it made a bigger.
So right after this story and he did this leak, kinda, right? Someone went via the Wayback Machine and dug up some old tweets and shit. It's really weird timing, right? Yeah, it's really weird.
Impact. If it's going to be out there, you may as well ensure that you put all the details in, that ensures that people can go out and investigate it themselves and find further details and get more people to talk.
So let's get to brass tacks here real quick. So as a journalist, sometimes when you're going after a story, you have to be careful about when you put it out, because when you put it out, it raises alarms, and you might still be investigating a thread, and you'll get more if you shut the fuck up about it. So not only do people try to shame you for putting something out, but they also try to kind of highlight that as if, and by the way, I mean, as if you're taking something down, but you were just taking it down because you felt uncomfortable. But let's get really clear why. If UFO activity is more under the water than it is in the sky, it would make sense that there would be more sensitivity about UAP under the water, specifically because a lot of our greatest and most tight-hold assets are underwater assets from recording devices, both audially and visually. That's why they always say in hearings, closed session, when that's brought up in congressional hearings. If you notice that, play the tape, baby. Right? There was a closed session. But
God damn. Jeremy always out here with the answers, right? This guy's so... He's like the Google in the UFO community, right? He just knows about all the cases and study this shit. It's really cool. But yeah, underwater. So this is a big new reveal. So I wonder how that connects into the Skinwalker Ranch weird phenomenon. And if the US has these assets with these cool-ass cameras, etc., they must have captured some weird shit. I mean, how many percentage of the ocean is unexplored? The UFOs from the ocean, is that just this? What the fuck?
also because you are revealing some of the people that have allegedly dealt with these crash retrieval programs that people don't, it's not in pop culture yet. And I want you to tell, and by the way, that is something that connects very much with me. I was told many, many years ago from some of the initial contacts I've had with high-ranking people that I should be looking at USOs. And I was like, what are you talking about? I've got a submarine. So this has always been a topic that seems...
Yeah. This guy, Jeremy, like, that was so funny. And he just glances over that. Like, how am I going to investigate that? I don't have a fucking submarine. The fuck?
really important. But additionally, Chris, you're exposing something.
From my understanding, Bobby Ray Inman used to be one of its directors. So did the former Senator John Warner as well. So, yeah, it's something that not a lot of people talk about. Obviously, it's known. Its name is out there. It's not a classified name. But, you know, like the Office of Global Access, you know, the name is not classified. But there's very, very little material online that you can find about it. There's no real news articles about it of note. So, yeah, it's something they don't want to talk about so much, let's say.
Chris.
See what I meant in the beginning of the video about the government choosing specific media to give information to because of what the journalists look into. If a news agency has tried to post or anything about USOs or UFOs or extraterrestrials or whatever, right? Then they get blacklisted. So no information there. But it's really bad, right?
Can you give us two things? One is your thoughts on this troll who attacked you, tried to kneecap your credibility and perhaps put you at physical risk. The same guy who's attacked Jeremy, me, Jacques Vallée, Dave Grush, all kinds of people. What's going on there? Why someone would go to the trouble of trying to hurt you or hurt your credibility? And then secondly, can you give us the rundown on your original story? We've got little bits and pieces that there's something underwater, but what it was that you found out. Give us a recap on what you were able to document.
Yes, yeah, sure. So my thoughts on that person. I mean,
So this one individual is giving all these people problems, right? Who the fuck is it? Does he have an X account? Or let's all post the name in the comments, okay? Yeah, we shouldn't like let this guy do this. The fuck? Does he think he's the mayor of the world or something?
I really don't think about them so much. Obviously, they've got beef with me and you guys and Dave and Jacques, most likely others as well. That's fine. I mean, you come across those people some of the times. I just found it really, really odd that he would look back on Wayback Machine just to search this out. It's like, okay, just someone give you a tip. How did you know to look for this? Are you looking for all my stories of this fine comb? But yeah, it is what it is. I think I was quite emotional at the time when I found out that this person had posted it. But look, that's fine. People can attack me all they want. The most important thing is the information.
And you can really see how much this is bothering this person. He's a bit shaken up, right? So it's really bad to see. That's a really fucked up thing to do, right?
Is the information good? I want people to do their own research, see if they can make their own connections with this. Because when I was actually doing the research and talking to sources, I was finding that obviously, I wouldn't have published the information unless I had a very, very good, trustworthy source, let's say, that it was coming from. And also I did get it verified by another source, but otherwise no one was talking about it. All I got was no comment. That's classified. I'll get in trouble. So we weren't, everyone was just shutting up. Basically, no one would talk about it at all.
And this is how the secrecy is held for 80 plus years. Yeah. Sucks.
Here's what you had reported. Liberation Times has uncovered details of an alleged program focused on retrieving advanced craft from beneath the sea, some reportedly non-human or unknown origin. This program draws on multiple agencies and departments. Among those involved, the maritime branch of the CIA's Director of Operations.
All this secrecy is making me really want to know the name of the program. How you guys feel?
U.S. Navy, the National Underwater Reconnaissance Office, jointly operated by Navy and CIA, U.S. Special Ops Command, and you said it's further understood Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution has provided deep submerged vehicles to support these retrieval efforts. That under the ocean, there are craft of unknown origin that have been retrieved that have been sent for analysis to secret labs, defense contractors, much as we heard about UFOs crashing and being quickly recovered. That's the basics of the story, right?
This is massive details, guys. So I hypothesized correctly in the start. Yeah, it's really weird. So the UFOs or UAP crash into the ocean, and we know that the farm boy, what's his name? The one that the public always hates so much for talking about UFOs. He's at the lectures or leads a team at a college or some shit. Harvey Loeb. So this guy went looking in the ocean for such a object or craft or whatever, but he asked the government for the location coordinates, and then he went on his mission with that information with like a magnet, and they collected these spheral objects, little circle spheres. So yeah, he was apparently going again to find stuff, but I've never heard anything since. So does anyone know the update? Did he come home empty-handed and didn't want to say a word and just stopped, or what was that all about? But yeah, this is really interesting. I wonder what's in the ocean, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. So, we've got collaboration from multiple agencies and offices within the US government working together. So in terms of the National Underwater Reconnaissance Office, obviously that's going to be involved with detection and tracking of crafts. And then obviously you've got Woods Hole, which will provide us submersibles, which will help you, get the ship, get the crafts out of the water. But from my understanding as well, Lockheed Martin have their own kind of vehicles now that can help with that, submergence vehicles. So that was a news story I actually put out there a few days ago.
That's pretty crazy. I can't believe this guy's balls is this massive to be posting this shit. Loving it. USOs, all this stuff. I want to check out what he writes. God damn. U.S. Special Operations Command, was working with Lockheed Martin with their new submersibles.
So that's really, really interesting as well. But yeah, what happens is the CIA do have a maritime branch within the operations directorate. And, you know, from my understanding, they do work with US operational command, special operations command on this. And they have their own kind of like maritime kind of like program within that as well. But I mean, this kind of, it's like the Office of Global Access again. You know, this program isn't dedicated to.
So I remember when the story about the Office of Global Access just came out, and it was insane on Twitter/X. Everyone was freaking out, posting pictures of the patches, the agencies or programs, insignias, all this stuff, and really weirdly described. And yeah, you should look into it. Office of Global Access. It's really weird. Check it out.
You know, a lot of the time they're dealing with Russians, Chinese, other adversaries under the water, but it's from time to time they will come across something of unknown origin as well. And what they do is they recover these crafts. And from my understanding, what happens is the Office of Naval Research, they're the ones who actually do the that they handle the recovery of materials, and they ensure that they go to the contractors for analysis to ascertain where they came from, what they're capable of doing. So I mean, those are the details that I've got so far. And obviously, as well, if you look at the Office of Naval Research, you can see that it has facilities and offices dedicated globally, all over the world. So I mean, it kind of makes sense from that.
Holy shit! Did you just say that they are everywhere? That they have offices everywhere and access everywhere? Yo,
perspective, if you are dealing with a global operation under the seas, you know, it's good to have a footprint in all those places around the world. So yeah, it's obviously, you know, none of the names that I put out there are classified. All these entities are known. All I am doing is based on the information I've been given, is basically putting the pieces together in terms of how it may work. You know, one thing I am unclear of that I didn't get the answer to is terms of salvage ships. How do you get the salvage ships there? Especially if it might be a race against time. How do you get them there on time? Is there a form of...
the fuck is a salvage ship? What? Have you guys ever heard of this?
International cooperation, for example. You know, we know, I think it was like a few months ago that one of the US fighter crafts came down in the ocean. I think it must have been in the South China Sea, and they did a recovery operation, and they actually had to use a salvage ship from Singapore, which was Chinese made. So, I mean, it might be again like the Office of Global Access. You know, it has to work pragmatically. You do what you can with the best resources at your disposal.
Keep in mind the Glomar Explorer. Remember that? Howard Hughes's ship that was outfitted by the CIA to go after something they wanted from the bottom of the ocean. That could be how it works. Jeremy?
Yeah, let's get right in front of this. So basically, you are exposing, based on your sources, a potential mechanism for UAP or UFO crash retrievals or just retrievals from underwater. And it implicates the Office of Global Access. It implicates certain individuals and just a mechanism and a process. And if that is accurate information from your sources, right, then that is dangerous in a way. If you know that, you're saying something that other people haven't said. And we do know, and I just want to be really clear again, like it was on the last episode of Weaponized, we know for sure that there was a UFO, UAP, that we breached the hull of, that there was additionally a material transfer of UAP that was supposed to happen to OSAP from Lockheed, and that was shut down specifically by CIA-involved individuals, and that is in the public now, so I'm not speaking out of school. And there's an individual who was head of science and technology at that time. That is in the public. We've talked about that. So if that is the fact, if that is the case, then as we've always suspected, the CIA has a lot of communication and oversight and kind of their hands in a lot of these retrieval programs, probably then to fit them and give them with people that can then look at the technology for derivative technologies. So you're exposing something that is not in popular culture yet. A Wikipedia is fleshed out. People are coming at you right and left to try to discredit you, make it uncomfortable, make you afraid. Now you've just done said it, and we're out in the public about it. People should jump in and start trying to look at it, get their own sources. And I know you keep fighting for sources. But Chris, I just wanted to say, man, that's the job you've chosen. As George always says, that's the life we chose, right? It's like, hey, man, you put it out, and now let's see where it goes.
Yeah, I just wanted to add as well, from my understanding, the Office of Global Access and the CIA's Directorate of Science Technology, it seems to always be involved in these operations. So it does have some form of involvement and oversight as well of these undersea retrieval missions. It's just that, when you're dealing with undersea retrieval missions, you need, different units, different agencies involved with different specializations in terms of...
I mean, that has to be such a messy process, right? They've been doing this for how long? 80 plus years, right? They must have gotten better at it. I don't know. What do you think?
The undersea retrievals. And obviously that's a lot more in the US Navy's domain as well, to be working with the CIA. Remember, the National Underwater Reconnaissance Office is, an office that formed with a partnership between the CIA and the US Navy.
Both being or seeming really evil agencies, right?
However, some people are telling me now that there seems to have been a wrestling contest between the CIA and the US Navy about who runs that. So I don't know what its current status is, whether it's more CIA or more US Navy. But it is really, really, something that I want people to dig into and look at, like Matt Laszlo knows, it's kind of like, it's easier to kind of like disprove rumors and allegations when it comes to political stories by just getting comment from members of the Hill, and I think as well that, as much as we can, we should always try to keep it real as well. Like I put that, in that story as well, I was reporting that there were allegations that, Rand Paul was to blame for shooting down of the UAPDA. But, then what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to seek confirmation from the other way around. Can I get a denial from Rand Paul's team? So, when it comes to these things, I'm looking for information, whether it supports the allegations or whether it doesn't support the allegations. So I'm always trying to keep it real in terms of that as well. But I can say that so far, the no one has tried to call BS on this story in terms of the insiders, let's say, who matter, who do know. But let me also say, there are lots of people that we know, insiders, some that have gone public as well. There is a good reason why none of them are talking about these programs. And and I know that a lot of these individuals have knowledge about these programs. And there is a good reason they're not talking about them, because they know that they can get in trouble by getting that information out. So the risk is really, really real.
Chris, you're always welcome here, of course. And please keep us in mind. Throw two old guys a bone once in a while, some table scraps. Well, one old codger and Jeremy, but come on, man, help us out once in a while.
I suspect Chris is going to be breaking some pretty big stories coming up soon. Everybody should pay attention to his work. Go to Liberation Times. Thank you so much, my friend, Chris. Thank you so much for being here. George and I got your back, but now we're out in front of it. You've said what you said. Nobody's going to mess with you, hopefully, in the same way. But here we go.
In conclusion today, guys, thank you so much for watching and all the support recently. I appreciate you a lot, all of you. And this is a long one today, so make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, share with everyone you know. Let's try and aim for 500 subs. Maybe we can do it really soon. If you made it this far in the video, comment Area 54. Okay, so there's that. And thanks for watching. Goodbye.